There's an idea that some people consider just a myth. You need big hands to play the piano. Hello, my name is Michael Tesler. I'm the author of this book, Keys That Fit, which explores the topic of narrower piano keyboards. It's unfortunate, but this can be a controversial topic. As I state on the cover, it's actually a common sense idea, but some who oppose this idea, or may not even be aware of it, claim that it's only a myth that you need large hands to play the piano. This is no myth, but let's get a little more precise about it. Technically, you don't need large hands to play the piano. Only a minority of people have large hands, and all but a tiny fraction of those people play on the large conventional keyboard. So obviously you can play the piano with smaller hands, but it's no myth that having large hands is a huge advantage in playing. Not only that, but in some cases it is a requirement. I will explain. But this is not a myth, it's a physical reality. First, let's address why smaller hands are severely disadvantaged when playing the piano. Having smaller hands means having to adjust your technique to accommodate the keyboard size. It may mean spending a lot of additional time learning various hand acrobatics that enable you to play, at least on some level, certain kinds of music. It definitely increases the strain your hands and your arms feel, as we see nearly universally in anecdotal evidence, and this can lead to injury, which is borne out by more quantitative research. Now, people who claim that this is all a myth say that all you really need to do is learn some hand stretches or flexibility exercises, or just practice ways to reach larger stretches with the proper technique for small hands that avoids pain and injury. We'll look at one of these suggestions in a second. First, some also say you can avoid all pain and risk of injury by simply choosing a repertoire that fits your hands. I'm not going to address this last suggestion other than to reject it outright. I refuse to be limited to a smaller repertoire or to a different way of playing simply because the piano keyboard is too big for me. Now, let's address that statement directly. Is the piano keyboard too big for me and for many others? I say it is, and that this is a physical reality, not a myth. Let's look at one example. I play jazz piano, and I like to play large chords that involve tenths, like this, and this, or maybe multiple tenths in a row, like this. Being able to reach these very large chords allows me to play solo piano in this way. It's so fun playing like that. This is a style that often used by Oscar Peterson when he plays solo piano. I have this sound embedded in me. It's how I want to play. It's how I want to sound. And I could never have played like this before I got my narrower piano keyboard. One suggestion for people with smaller hands trying to play these larger chords is to simply roll them like this. With a lot of practice, you can get them to sound relatively good. A little use of the pedal, I can get all three voices to sound at the same time. But there are a couple things here. First of all, I want to play this, not this. These are different sounds. It is physically impossible for me to create this sound on a conventional keyboard with a single hand. It's a physical reality, not a myth. The people who suggest rolling the chords often themselves have large hands, so they make it look and sound so simple. You just roll it like this. But it is easy for them. Look what I'm doing here, because they don't have to do anything. On this piano, I just rotate my wrist because I can already reach it. On a larger conventional keyboard, there would be a significant additional distance to cover. So it would be more like this. I'm not going to play it. I mean, I'm hitting bogus notes up here, but that's what the hand motion would be. I'm exaggerating it a little bit, but it's a much more significant movement. It would take a lot of time to perfect this motion and to learn to execute it without constantly straining my hand. Now, even if I accepted that I could learn to roll these chords and create an acceptable sound on the conventional keyboard, how many hours of additional practice would that take? And how much mental and physical energy would I have to expend at the keyboard while playing, rather than effortlessly playing it like this, with very little additional practice? All that additional time could have been spent practicing other things. I could learn an entirely new tune. I could work on my improvisational phrasing. I could learn some new chord substitutions and voicings to apply to my performance. I could use that time to do any number of things that would be far more beneficial to my overall playing capabilities. Spending time on something that a narrower keyboard allows me to simply play effortlessly is a total waste of time. And again, it's never going to sound exactly the way I want, because there are real-world physical limitations to that. It's no myth, it's reality. And I've only shown you one example here. There are many others I can give. And by the way, I'm only addressing this topic from my perspective and experience as a jazz pianist. I'm certain there are many more examples and additional challenges that classical musicians face as well. If you're a classical musician who faces challenges because of the keyboard size, please comment and let me know about it. Again, it's not a myth that you need large hands to play the piano. It's a physical reality. They say you can't change the size of your hands, so you need to learn to adapt to the keyboard. They're only half right. We can't change the size of our hands, but we can change the keyboard that we play, and we don't need to adapt at all. Please help make that possible for more and more players. Give this video a thumbs up, share it, and subscribe to my channel. Also, you can learn a lot more about the benefits of narrower piano keyboards in my book, Keys That Fit. It's available on Amazon and Barnes & Noble. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.